The Hawaiian Comedian presents. I've been doing comedy for over 23 years. And I've been on the road. I've been in different cities. I've been different things like that.
We're here to talk about everything, man. The topics you talk about with your friends, your family, questions you got for us. Twitty in the city.
Aloha.
Twitty in the city, another episode back at it. Go ahead, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to tell you right now, get in the DMs, get in the comments. Me and HC, we ain't scared to answer anything. This podcast is for you, man. We answer questions, and we also just sharing topics and conversations we just think about all day that we were like, let's just get on the microphone and do it. HC, how you doing today?
I'm good. And I'm kind of excited. What's this new topic? You said this thing is going to be... It's going to kind of hit me in the face for something?
Yeah, a little bit. You ever get I'm calling it the why Idaho question. And you got to look at me like,
the
why Idaho? You ever
why
been?
like why am I here?
Yes. Okay, so this is what happened. I know you've had this situation happen to you.
Okay,
Literally
go
just
ahead.
happened to me last week. I'm at a bar watching the game. Somebody recognized me, obviously. And they're like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, 757 Virginia. And they're like, oh, so what brought you out here? I tell them why. And they're like, so how do you like it? And not lying, but I don't know you, so I'm not going to have that in-depth conversation. But I'm like, I like it. It's cool. I love the people out here. And then they do that side turn. But how do you really like it? What am I hiding?
Yeah.
Like, do you ever get that question? Like, they want you to like be real, but it's like, I am being real. Like,
yes.
I didn't move out here.
I used to get that after every comedy show I performed here in Idaho. Every show I used to do, they'd come up and be like, why Idaho? Well, or they do that squint and they look you in the face. Why Idaho? And this is what I've learned. In the 12 years that I've lived here, I figured out something about Idahoans. And you know what? If you out there right now, you're going to be mad because I'm going to let everybody know.
Uh-oh.
Most Idahoans, won't say all of y'all,
yeah, you can't
most
assume.
Idahoans don't want to hear anything unless it's good. They don't want to hear anything negative. They don't want to hear anything negative. They only want to hear if it's something good. Why are you here? What brought you here? First of all, just so people in Idaho know, nothing brought me here. Okay, this was an opportunity that was out there that I jumped on because I was so much in debt in a different state that I was like, I needed to be out here. But I'm going to tell you something. There wasn't one time Idaho was on, in, near, around my radar.
Oh, no. I can vouch for that, too. And again, I like what you stated, that nothing forced me here. I'm here because I want to be here.
Correct.
And also, I have been places that I tell people all the time, I love where I went to school, but I survived Orange City, Iowa. It's like a population of 500.
Yep.
I can go anywhere. Like, nothing scares me, nothing I can't handle.
Right.
And so when people are asking, like, well, how do you really like it? I'm cool with it. Like, I'll say it. Mm-hmm. White people are cool. Like, I'm not afraid to say that.
Oh.
Or like, most people are always being like, well, do you feel fine out here? Yes, I'm fine. Like, I'm cool. Like, it's Gucci.
You want to know that question, though, isn't even really asked of me by people from Idaho. It'd be a few people from Idaho that will ask me that question, why Idaho? Yeah. But most people that ask me that question don't even live here.
Oh.
They live.
No, I can't lie. I'm sorry to cut you. But yeah, you're right, HC. I do get a lot of people. They're like, man, why are you out there?
Why are you out there?
Or most of the time, my homies will hit me up. I'm like, yo, what's up? They're like, bro, you surviving?
Hey,
I'm good.
I used to tell people, they were like, Sean, why you in Idaho? I'm like, to get away from you, because I knew you wouldn't move here. That's why I moved here. That's why I came out this way. And the first couple of years I got here, I was getting mad at other people always talking shit about Californians. I ain't gonna lie. Every place I went, I hated hearing, oh, California this and California's doing this and California's doing this. And
well,
I'm
2012, that was probably the time. I feel like you can disagree or agree with me, HC. I feel like now you can't really say that a lot because there's a lot of Californians here now.
Well, now there's a lot of Californians. In 2012, there wasn't a lot of Californians. There wasn't that many. I was the only one walking around here like, hey, what's up, man? But then again, I've always been out of place.
Right.
Like, everywhere I've been at, I've been out of place. Like, I have an Irish first name. I have a European last name. I have a Hawaiian middle name. I was told I looked Puerto Rican, and I was raised in a black neighborhood. Like, that's where I'm from.
Right.
Like, so coming to, like, I was born, raised, bred, whatever you want to say. I was mixed with diversity. Like it was diverse for me my whole life. It was everybody was everybody to me. Like nobody was separated by color. Nobody was separated by the only thing we was separated by growing up. The only thing was whether you had money or you didn't have money.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
That was me. We weren't poor, but we weren't rich.
Yeah, you were right there.
We
on
was
the
middle
line.
class, but we was still living in the hood. You still lived in the hood no matter what. In Bay Area, you gonna live in the hood no matter what. I mean, it's $1 million just to live in Richmond, California right now.
But yeah, I had to bring that up because it happened last week, and it's just why. I guess I shouldn't say why. That's wrong of me. It's just the thought of like, why do I have to like be here by force? Or why can't somebody like me that's black or like you said Hawaiian or what they might think you are can't be in Idaho? It
used to get me mad when I was asked that question because when they look at you or something, or they didn't know, or they didn't see the part of my show but I was sitting there and I'm living in Idaho, and they looked at me and said, "Why would you move out here?" And first of all, I ain't even said hi to you yet.
Yeah,
like you just assumed that I ain't from here. Why did you assume I'm not from here? Why not? Why did you just look at me and go, "He's not from Idaho"? Why not? You know, I could be native. I could be indigenous.
You could,
but it's assumed straight off the bat.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then I used to get mad at that. Now I don't get mad. I don't get mad at none of that stuff no more.
I laugh at it, but I was just curious if you ever had that. Because for me, it's always don't put me in a box.
Right.
Like I am a city, because I'm a city kid. Like I grew up literally,
you and me both.
Yeah, my graduating class was almost 2,000 kids.
Right.
So like I grew up in a large city, but I am an outdoor person.
Yeah.
I hike, I bike, I camp, I hunt. Like I like being outdoors, which is why I moved.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I was raised city, but my father is outdoors. Like my father is raised in Midwest and stuff like that, Washington. Like when I was a little kid, I even though I was from the hood, if I went to go visit my father's side of the family in Washington State, like if we were making a fire in the house for the thing, I'm outside chopping wood.
Yeah,
I'm stacking these. I'm out there. I'm 9 years old, 10 years old, and I'm swinging an axe. Like nobody in my hood back in the Bay Area is swinging axes for wood.
Oh no,
like nobody is. They just messing with the thermostat. But like when I came out here, I was already former military. I've always been hunting and fishing with my dad growing up.
Oh yeah, that's in your DNA.
So coming out here, it was fantastic. Like,
it's easy.
I mean, here I've always looked at it that way. Like coming out to Idaho, when people ask me and they say, "Why Idaho? Why that? Why did you go to Idaho?" I'm like, first of all, I can breathe.
True.
That's number one. First of all, I can breathe. I would tell people straight up, I moved out here because I can breathe. It's open. I know now there's a lot more people coming in here and I remember when it was all open and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I do remember that. But like I don't mean breathing by just the air. Like the air is a lot cleaner than it is back home in Cali with all the smog and everything and all that stuff. But it's also it's a lot easier to breathe financially. It's a lot easier to breathe with your family. It's a lot easier because you feel safer with your family. I've always felt safe since I moved here. Like I never felt unsafe.
Right.
And I felt more unsafe back home in California than I did out here in Idaho.
Well, it's like you said, the fact people wave.
Oh yeah.
Don't know me. Yeah. I used to, for the longest, somebody would wave at me. I'd be like, man, I feel bad. Am I supposed to know that?
You're supposed to wave back.
Well, I knew I was supposed to wave back, but I always had that thing, like if somebody's waving at you, they know you.
Or they're trying to stop you to tell you something.
Yeah. So I would always be wrapping my brain around like, man, did I meet that guy somewhere? I mean, I might have, but it would have been at the bar. Was at the grocery store? And then my wife said to be like, no, they just waving. I'm like, so that guy just waving?
For nothing.
Like never saw me.
Right.
Never. She's like, nope, don't know you. Just wave.
The people here with that, I'm gonna tell you. I was driving one time in I had traded in my Honda Civic when I moved here so that I could get me a Subaru Outback. That's what I had. I had a '98 Subaru Outback, right? And I was like, this is dope. I ain't never had a Subaru. I ain't had nothing.
Dope.
This is dope. It's got all-wheel drive. You telling me when I hit the gas pedal, all four wheels are turning? What? That's something different, because ain't nobody got nothing four-wheel. Like, I mean, four-wheel drive in the truck is no, but in a car, like in the hood, ain't nobody in the hood four-wheel drive cars,
ain't
like
nobody
all-wheel drive cars.
burning rubber on all-wheel drive.
None of that. And I got this thing, and I remember one time it stopped on me on Orchard, and I think it's Franklin, where that Del Taco is, right there on the side.
Oh yeah.
And I turned. I was in the turning thing to turn left. I turned left, and it died. It died right there in the middle of the intersection. I'm sitting there trying to start it, nothing. I try to start it again, nothing. I'm like, damn it. I'm looking around. Now, if I'm in California, and this happens in California, every single person going through that intersection is honking their horn, they're cussing me out, they're flipping me off. Yeah, everybody, because it's my fault that my car decided to stop.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, damn it. On the third try, it was like the third or the fourth try, when I tried like this, I felt the and I was like, is that it trying to start? No. I look in the mirror. I got 7 people on the back of my bumper pushing me off. They're just like, go ahead. Go. We got you. And they're just behind me. And I'm like, what? I look back and I'm like, yo, Del Taco. Turn in here. They pushed me through. I thought they were just going to push me in the parking lot. They pushed me through the whole drive-through. Went to the whole drive-through, bought tacos for everybody. It was Taco Tuesday. That was perfect.
Taco Tuesday.
Pushed through the drive-through, came on the other backside. The look on the Del Taco person's face when they see me get the tacos, but when I was pulling away, it was 6 people on the back of my car just waving at him like, thank you. And he was like, what? Say what? No, that's Idaho. Like they don't just look at people stranded off to the side and just be like, oh, nope, none of that. The only time they don't pay attention to you driving is when you merging.
Yeah.
That's when they don't.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Idaho, it's, like you said, I like that you can breathe. And for me, it's, most Idahoans might not like to hear this, but it's an opportunity to grow. There is so much room for growth.
See, and why do you think they get mad at that too? Because I noticed that too. They get mad when you tell them it's opportunities. It's like they feel like they still in the plant pot.
Well, it's a farm state, but
yeah.
I can say this now because I've gotten history from my in-laws.
Yeah.
So this is sources coming from my in-laws that have been here. Again, if you watch the first episode, my wife and her family, they are Weiser, Cambridge Council area, so they know the state of Idaho. I found out people are getting a little upset because they think they're taken away from farmland. I hate to tell you, the Treasure Valley ain't the farm area. You got to go outside. There's plenty of farmland left. That's why some people are upset. It's like, yes, you going down 84 westbound and where they got the shields. Yeah, that used to be farmland. Well, guess what? That ain't the only area that had potatoes and all that wheat. You got to go out past Cuna, past Nampa, past Caldwell. That's where the farm life is. Now, when you start getting out there, we can start being stressed.
Or if you're starting to go up Fruitland and all that,
like there's plenty, but most of them are a little upset because they're like, you're taking away from our farmland. The Treasure Valley ain't the farmland.
No,
that's a piece of property somebody's great granddad struck gold on, and now the kid that's my age is like, why am I gonna have a farm when I got 5 subdivisions?
Isn't Boise like mostly rock anyway, like Table Rock and all that?
I don't know that part. I don't know. We gotta, if somebody's listening or watching right now, get in the DMs, get in the comments, find out the history. Yeah, let us know because we'll talk about it. We'll shout you out. Mm-hmm. But that's what I've learned is that it used to just be freeway, farmland.
Right.
But now that it's going away, it's like, what are we going to do with our crops? You're going to keep heading west. You're going to keep heading east. You're going to keep heading north. Because I've seen the real farmland. And I hate to tell you, you got property in the Treasure Valley, that ain't nothing.
And I'm going to tell you something. It's crazy because when I moved out here and I told everybody back home where I was living, right? And everybody, they was like, hey, Sean, where you living at? And I'm like, I'm in Idaho. And they're like, Idaho? Is that the place with all the potatoes? And I was like, you know what? It took me like 3 to 4. It took me longer than that. It took at least 5 to 6 years before I seen one potato field in this whole state. Because you go, like you said, it's not farmland out here. Like you got to go to the outskirts.
You got to go to the outskirts.
You got to go out towards Simplot and all that other stuff to see all that. I didn't know that I couldn't find one potato field. When people ask me, and which is crazy because to leave the state, you have to pass all these farms, but I couldn't tell the difference between a potato farm or a field that was like for like cabbage or something. I mean, I could tell from cabbage, but like any type of other little thing that you might be growing out there, I don't know.
Bro, I am 32 years old. I've been out here for 4 years.
Okay.
I still got to ask my wife. I'm like, is that? And she's just, no. I'm like, oh, what about no? Well, what about I'll tell you when there's one? I still can't tell sometimes. Sometimes I'm like 1 for 4. Every 4 fields I see, I get it right that it's a potato
I'm 0
field.
for 4 in that thing. 0 for 4. Like I could not tell. Because like most potato fields, you look at it, you like, is this a potato field? I'm like, I don't know. It looked like somebody destroyed it. Like it don't look like something that was supposed to get something out edible.
Right. And somebody's like, oh no, that's perfect right now. This is fertilizer season. This is when it's gonna do all this. I'm like, again, that's why you the expert.
Yeah.
But no, man, it's just Idaho. It is what it is. But also, you got to have the mindset that you also belong here. And I think for you and I, that's why I hate getting the. I don't hate. I shouldn't say that word. I don't like using.
No,
that
you
word.
ain't got to stretch that far.
Well, yeah, I don't hate it, but it's just I'm just like, why? But it's like I chose to be here. I like being here. Yep. I'm not going back home.
No.
There's nothing else.
Nothing.
Oh, I ain't gonna say nothing else. Sorry. I got family. I got a lot of friends that I grew up with that are doing good things and bad things. But that's it.
Yep.
I'm not going back there to live and to try to grow. This is the area that is growing, has grown, has a lot of opportunity. And like you said, just genuine good people that I got a story for you like about pushing. I was at a bar by myself. My wife had went to go visit one of her girlfriends. I'm just at the bar. Old guy just walks up on me, and I thought he was going to hit me with the classic, so where are you from? Dude just walks up. He's like, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing good. And he's like, well, you're probably doing better than me. I woke up this morning, and I fell right on my ass out of my track.
Had a whole conversation with him,
conversation. Yep. Name, I never forget it. His name was William because it was my grandfather's name. Name was William, has a farm out past like Caldwell. Mm-hmm. Super cool dude. Mm-hmm. Never just walked up on me, was just like, how you doing? You ain't gonna get that in the city. You don't get somebody that's gonna be like, hey, are you done with that seat? Because I'm trying to get me and my girl to sit right here.
I tell you straight up. Like when I first started doing comedy out here, I also, before I got into stand-up comedy, I used to bounce clubs. That was my main my main gig. So in order for me to get into clubs to do this, I used to do stand-up. I used to do security. So I was at the club downtown right here in Boise. One of the bartenders that worked there was homosexual. Real good friend of mine, and he was being aggressive. This dude was acting just all out of character, screaming, cussing, everything. And I'm looking at this now. I'm the comedian. I'm not the bouncer. But
you're not security.
No, I'm just there because we got a show in like an hour. But on the same point, I don't like it when you disrespect people on who they are or what they represent. Like you don't have
100%.
You be human at any time you need to be. So I'm standing there. I had ordered some nachos. The nice lady brought me my nachos, and she was like, where do you want this at? Where would you like me to put this at? And I looked at her because this dude's yelling at the bartender, and there is no security yet. And I looked at her and I said, can you move to the left? Right there, just for a second. The plate. Thank you for the plate. I appreciate it. I put the plate down. She's looking at me like, are you okay? And the minute that happened, I hear this dude call him names that I don't like. And the minute that name came out there, and the minute the bartender, now what I'm going to do is as a security guard or even as a bouncer of a club, I understand. They are in charge. If I think that the bartender has it in control, I let them take control until they feel like, nope, this dude needs to go.
Yeah.
That's when I step in. So I'm sitting there, and he says it to him, and as soon as he says it to him, I'm like, nope, you're done.
I'm taking over.
You're done. I take 2 steps forward. Even the lady that brought me the nachos, she was like, oh, shit. I walk right past her. I snag this dude by the back of his jacket and shirt, and I pick him up. And as I'm walking him out, okay, he's calling me the N-word all the way out. Oh, you got to have him do it. Or you got to have this one do it. Or you got to have him do it. And I'm just like, you calling me that? I am literally wearing a shirt that has Hawaiian pride on the back. I have a shirt that says, my people say aloha, not ola. and like, it's written on my shirt. It's written on the back of my shirt. And he's still calling me the N-word the whole way out. And I'm carrying him to the door. And this other comedian is like, what do I do? What do I do? Do I grab him? Do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do that? And I'm just like, no, just make sure he gets by the door. And then I start pushing him into the door. And in order to open the door, you just push the little thing.
Yeah.
But I'm banging him against the door. Blow. And this comedian is looking at me like, dude, you want me to get the door? I said, nope. Blow. He going to figure it out. Blow. He going to know how to. Boom. There he goes. He knew the third time he was going to hit it. But when I got him outside in this little area, there's people that have lunch and have like stuff like that where you can eat outside in the little patio area.
Yeah.
And they're out there eating. And I come out of this club and I'm taking this guy out. And when he stands out there, he's still calling me the N-word for some stupid ass reason, but he's using it. and he's yelling at it to where people who are eating lunch and dinner are just sitting there staring. Nobody says nothing. And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. Is this cool here? Like, is this cool here in Idaho for that? The minute I thought I was losing hope, kind of like how you were saying, somebody just walk up and talk to you.
Yeah.
The minute I started losing hope in the state, this gentleman comes walking up. He was going to an event that was right down the way, and he's wearing a cowboy hat. He's walking with his wife, and he's walking by like this, and he hears the guy call me again. When he came around the corner, he was like, yeah, you stupid, and he says it, and this cowboy stops, and he goes, what the hell did you do? And he said it loud. He was right in the middle of the alley, and I turned, and I looked at this little cowboy guy, right? And I'm like, what? And he turned around, and he goes, what just came out of your mouth? He goes, he looked at me, sir, do not judge us Idahoans off of this piece of shit. Please don't. You know what? I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And he takes off his hat. His wife is standing next to him. Take the hat. She's like, keys, wallet, everything. This is a thing that he does.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she knows exactly what to do. And he chases this sumbitch, and he comes back around, and he looks at me, and he apologizes back and forth. And he goes, this is not what Idaho's about. This is not what we stand for out here. And he goes, and if that piece of shit ever came back doing it again, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I appreciate you. Like, you really making me feel at home right now.
Yeah.
And not only did he yell at that dude, he yelled at everybody sitting there that was eating dinner. He turned, and all you people, just go sit here while this idiot is sitting there yelling this shit, and nobody gonna say nothing. He goes, yeah, enjoy your dinner. He goes, that's not what we're about here.
I haven't encountered that, but I've encountered that guy that calls he's wearing a cowboy outfit. Like, you can't be like, oh, it's like, nah, that dude, no. I bet that guy knew 5 people's parents, and they probably were like, oh, man, I hope he does not
There was
come
like
over
6
for
people
dinner.
that was probably sitting there going, who is that? Oh, that's Mr. Henry. That's Mr. Henry. Yeah, you knew who Mr. Henry was.
Yeah, Mr. Henry came down and laid the law.
But it made me, that's what gave me hope more in Idahoans. And then I started finding more Idahoans that were like that.
Oh, yeah.
That we're just like, hey, no, we are hardworking people. We come out here, we do our stuff, we do it together, we pull each other together, and that's all I've gotten since I've been here. And that's why I ain't going nowhere. Idaho, you are not getting rid of me. I don't give a shit. I love this place. I'm 20 minutes from my favorite fishing spot. I could go out and camp anywhere I want to go camp. Like, oh, no, I am not leaving.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
But, yeah, man, I love it. Every day, I can't, like you said, I can't go back.
Nope.
And I always tell people, my friends and stuff, they're just like, well, send a picture. I'm like, bro, a picture ain't going to do you justice.
Nope.
Like, I could try to take a picture of that mountain with the sunset and the clouds and
tell
the
'em.
snow on top. I'm like, I can't do it.
I tell them, if
Like,
I don't
it's
want them to come
disrespectful.
here, I tell them. I'll be like, you got to pay your house. You got to paint your house blue and orange. You gotta have like a
you
gallon
out
of
there
fry sauce in
lying.
your. Yeah, I don't want them here. If I don't want them here, I'm gonna tell them that. Just so you know that, Idahoans, I ain't back there telling every Californian to move here. I am not, because I
You out there
understood why y'all was.
inspecting?
I started after about maybe 6 or 7 years here. I started understanding why they said, "Oh, I don't want no Californians here," because I was sitting there going, "What the hell? The hell is happening here?"
Yeah, you flip sides. You're like, you know what?
you
We
just-
cool. And then you like, you know what? Some of us don't need
When
to
you
be
see
here.
that dumbass in the Camaro trying to do 80 miles an hour on Fairview during the snow,
You
and he's
just
just
like-
spinning, I'm just looking at him like, dumbass Californian.
That's when.
And you know what? If you California, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. I'm California too. Don't get mad at me.
Yeah,
It's real. You know who it was too. You probably sitting there go, oh, that dude talking about Tony. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. You just gotta have common sense, man. But nah, I had to ask that question because it happened last week. And yeah, like you said, it's just
Was this during the Boise State game or something?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was during the BSU game. Like I said, I'm at the bar. Somebody noticed me, which was cool. But yeah, she got me when she did it's that up and the twist.
And the twist.
I'm like, what? At first I was like, I don't know what she.
So
about to
did
ask
she
me.
do the pose and then do the question? Like it was like a setup?
Mhm. So literally, this is exactly how she did it. I'm sitting there. She's beside me, and she's like, oh, are you? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, I love watching your stuff, and I subscribe. And then she's like, so how you like it out here? And I'm like, it's cool. And then but how you really like it?
Ah.
And At first, I was like, bro, why are you hitting on me?
Do you think she was asking that of you because she knows you're black? You think that's why she asked you?
Oh, 100%.
It's like she was just like, what do you really think about it?
100%. And I'm just like
she was doing a poll?
Yeah. I'm like, one, I can't speak for everybody. Like
Right.
I am Twitty the black. I am not the black of everybody. But it was just anytime I see that shoulder lean, I'm like, they're about to ask me something. I'm not gonna be ready. Well, I'm not gonna be ready for. I'm just like, what are they gonna
Don't
ask
play.
me?
Yeah, you know, and I've learned not to even play into it no more. Like,
Well,
I'm
don't.
like you're trying to tell me about a negative side that I don't even be talking about. Like I just like talk about my positive side.
Exactly. And again, I'm here because I want to be here.
Right.
Like I am not here against my will. My wife did not force me to come back.
Right.
I was the one that went to her and said we coming to Idaho. And ever since then, like when I tell you like this is how I tell people. I've been here long enough now that when my wife goes somewhere, like to go on a girls trip or something, she's like, what you gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. I might go kick it at the bar. I'm gonna find somebody that's gonna say hi to me.
Yeah.
Like I go out knowing somebody gonna come talk to me. But like talk to me to have that conversation that you gonna call me, be like, why didn't you answer my phone? I'm sorry. Me and William was over here getting into it about BSU playing somebody, and we started talking about farms, and we started talking about Californians, and then he was mad that he was talking about Californians because his daughter married a Californian. Now he likes going to California.
That's an episode we got to do.
Yeah, that's
because
deep.
There's some people out here that are just like, what? He's from where? He's a what?
And they shake their head like, but you know what? I fucking love the guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, again, another Hawaiian comedian production, Twitty in the city. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, get in the comments, anything you want to ask, inquire about, dig a little deeper into what we just talked about. We ain't scared to ask about it, as we always say.
And I tell you what, Californians, I only go back to California to find out the reasons why I left.
Ain't that the truth? All right, another episode down. Again, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you again next week.